Routine cancer screenings can help prevent cancer or detect it early when treatment is more likely to be successful. And joining us now to discuss why people might be delaying routine screenings and how individuals can find reliable information about recommended screenings and coverage is Jody Hoyos, CEO, Prevent Cancer Foundation. Good morning to you, Jody. How are you?
Good morning, Maddie. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Of course, we're so happy to have you because this is a very important topic. So let's start. What does the Prevent Cancer Foundation's latest survey reveal about cancer screening trends?
Our big headline is that nearly 3 in 4 adults in the U.S. are behind on at least one of their routine screenings. And what stood out to us this year is that people cited cost anxiety as one of the top reasons. In fact, 35% of people said it is their biggest worry. Cost is their biggest worry, and that's up from 28% of people last year. That's a big jump, and it means that people are now saying that they're just as concerned about cost as they are about receiving a cancer diagnosis.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so speaking of that cost, how do cost confusion and distrust in the health system affect, making those screening decisions?
When people don't know what a medical test will cost, it can contribute to existing distrust, and it's one more reason people can put off a screening. We want to make sure that people know how important it is to prevent a cancer or detect it early. When we miss a screening, we lose the chance to prevent the cancer, as you can with colonoscopies or cervical cancer screening, or to detect it early when treatment can be the most effective. Unfortunately, about 1 in 5 people said distrust is exactly why they're not getting their screenings. People cited that they're concerned that the health system puts profit over patient care. Other people cited that they get negative or confusing information or conflicting information. So simple, trustworthy information is really important for people to take action.
And I know a lot of people are kind of like, well, do I go through insurance for this? So are those routine cancer screenings, are they typically covered by insurance? Is it a case-by-case basis?
Thankfully, yes. In most cases, routine cancer screenings are covered by insurance, often at no cost to the patient. And that's true for private insurance, Medicaid, and Medicare. It is not particularly easy to find that information. We need to do a better job of making sure people know that in most cases those screenings are covered, and that if you're uninsured or you have limited coverage, there's locations across the country that offer free and low-cost screenings, and we do have a resource that lists that information on our website.
Oh, okay. We'll definitely get to that before the end of this. But I do want to know, what's the good news that came out of this year's survey?
The good news is that we have ideas about what we can do to make things better. 50% of people said that if they had predictable and affordable costs, that it would be more likely to increase their trust. The other good news is that while people may not trust the healthcare system, they do tend to trust their doctor. And more people are having conversations with their doctors about the screenings they need, which is music to our ears. That's very good news.
Okay, and then finally, we've talked about it, routine cancer screenings. When should we start those? Like, I go to my primary care, my OBGYN, but what if it's like, something skin related that you typically don't go to the dermatologist all the time? When should you start those routine screenings?
The screenings are going to vary depending on the screening type, your age, your gender. So you want to take a look and see what is right for you. We have a resource on our website that gives all the information you can print out. And I do want to give this information.
Yes.
That family history is important. We want to make sure that you're having conversations about your family history with your provider, because that can impact when you start your different screenings. The challenge here is that there is a misconception that if people don't have a family history of cancer, they don't need to worry about getting their screenings. The fact is that less than 10% of cancer cases are considered hereditary. So even if cancer doesn't run in your family, you want to make sure that you're still getting your routine cancer screenings per the guidelines.
And Jody, you mentioned, the website. What is that website so people can get more information and, maybe start their routine cancer screenings?
Yes, the website is www.preventcancer.org.
Awesome. Jody, thank you so much for all this information, and thank you for keeping us cancer aware.
Thank you so much.